Hi there, and welcome to the Mountain Witch here on Eric's channel. He has very graciously agreed to let us play this sad, spooky game about samurai, and we're all going to have a great time together, and no one is going to die. Not going to happen. So, my name is Luke. I will be GMing this game. Yeah, that's about all you need to know about me. I'm spooky often. That's it. Speaking of spooky things, Kira, how have you been recently?
I'm fantastic. How have you been, Luke? It's been a week, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been about a week. It's been a spooky week. I ran role playing games for 21 children. It was a lot. I nearly died.
Oh,
Thank you. We
oh,
should talk about pronouns.
yeah.
My pronouns are they, them. Kira, tell us about your pronouns.
Yes, my pronouns are she or they. I am open. Um, and I guess it's my turn to introduce myself, right?
Yeah.
Was that your intro? Okay. I'm
Ah,
Kira. I am a queer cyborg game designer living in Columbus, Ohio. And I love Akira Kurosawa movies. I just watched Yojimbo like 2 weeks ago. I feel ready. Also, I tried to do this top knot.
I noticed the top knot. I was stoked.
Andrew.
I'm Andrew. I use they them pronouns, and I'm a human who will be playing a samurai tonight. And I'm not going to betray anyone. I promise. I promise not to betray anyone. Anya.
I'm Anya, or Keeters. I use she and they pronouns, and I will be playing some kind of samurai that is having a lot of feelings, probably. Kika.
Hey, I'm Kika. I use she, her pronouns. Big old fantasy nerd, but when I'm not being a fantasy nerd, I'm a huge samurai weeb. So yeah, I'm really excited to play.
cool. Yeah. So, on the subject of playing, we probably should talk about the game that we're playing.
Yes, please.
So today we're going to be playing a game called The Mountain Witch. This is a quite an old indie game. It was published back in like 2004, 2003. It came out of the early Game Chef competitions at about the same time as Polaris. And The Mountain Witch, to read to you, is The Mountain Witch is a self-contained role-playing adventure in which players take on the role of Ronin, masterless samurai, in mythical medieval Japan. Outcast and unemployed, these Ronin accept a job that no one else would take: to assault and kill the dreaded Mountain Witch of Mount Fuji. And so you are all going to be playing sad, desperate, outcast samurai, haunted by your dark pasts and by darker fates, who have been hired as a group to climb Mount Fuji in the middle of winter and defeat the legendary and awful Mountain Witch. Because this is a tragedy, and like samurai tragedy at that, probably you will all kill each other. That's more likely than that the witch will kill all of you. And like that is very much what this game is about. So we're gonna play towards that because this is meant to be a tragedy. Before we do anything else, I just want to go through the player agenda that I have written for this game. So these are the things that you as players, this is your job. So that chat can check that you're doing your jobs properly and comment at you if you're doing it wrong. No. So, bleed your heart out and think dramatically. Right? This is not a game about normal, boring people making normal, boring decisions. Be big, be expressive, be tragic. Put players before PCs. Like, this is a PvP game. Let's just be upfront about that. Like, your characters are probably going to fight each other a whole bunch, probably going to kill each other. But we as players are unified in that goal. And so we don't want to be like being jerks to each other, and we don't want anyone to have hurt feelings. Play to the audience, both in terms of like we're playing on stream, but also a thing that your character is thinking very intensely about that no one on the table ever learns about isn't really in the game. So try and let us into your internal monologue and your internal motivation. Play against your character's interests, lean into tragedy. This game doesn't have a happy ending. Open yourself to friendship and hurt. This is a game about the characters growing together and like coming to share a camaraderie, which makes it worse when it all goes wrong. And herald your dark fate, but play to find out what happens. And I'll talk a bit more about that when that comes up in terms of what that actually means. I think with that, like we might just make characters. There's not a lot of lead in that's needed in this game. I'll talk a bit about mechanics probably after we've got characters. So, your characters for this game are very simple. They consist of not that many things. First, all of you get a dark fate. It will not at all be awful. It will be a very nice dark fate, and only good things will come of it. So, who would like first to learn what terrible fate will lie in the destiny?
Actually, Kika put her hand up, so...
Okay. So, Andrew is very keen, but Kika beats them to the punch. All right, this is good. Kika, can you roll 1d7 for me in Roll20?
7.
Cool. All right, I am going to... can someone just quickly check for me? Can you all see each other's character sheets? Because if you can't, I might just put it in there.
I cannot see.
Cannot.
Can you see your own character sheet?
I can see my own.
Okay, good. That's a good start.
Well, specifically, I see the red Ronin.
Yeah, that's you, Andrew.
I see the blue Ronin.
All right, cool. So, Kika, I'm going to put your dark fate in your character sheet. Chat, we are not going to tell you what Kika's dark fate is. You, like the other players, are going to have to play to find out and learn what it is as we go along the way.
I can see you highlighting the document, Luke. I'm paging down.
Thank you, Andrew. Good job. Yeah, good job, Andrew. I'm proud of you for your honesty.
I'm expunging that from my memory. I don't remember anything.
Yep. Good job, Andrew. All right, Kika, I have saved that in your character sheet. Have a look at that. And in fact, I think before we go on, let me just talk a little about Dark Fate. So, Dark Fate is one of the mechanics of this game that drives us towards awful, blood-soaked betrayal at the end. They're all designed to create conflicting interests, to push you against one another, to make things hard and difficult and shitty. And one of the really interesting things this game does is it gives you all GM-level like narrative authority to introduce elements of your Dark Fate. So if, your Dark Fate is like, you're like, I am being haunted by a terrible ghost. You can just like straight up steal the GM brains from me and be like, cool, let me describe in this scene how like a bad spooky mist is coming and it's very cold and there's a pair of glowing eyes in it. And like, that is your job. That's heralding your Dark Fate. But as Polk Sadek taught us, if you introduce like playthrough and resolve an element of the game all on your own, it's not going to be very satisfying. So it's your job to put elements out there, leave it to me to take them and run with them and make them worse and awful. And don't commit yourself too early to like, here is exactly what my Dark Fate looks like and how it's going to play out. If it asks you to invent an NPC, like, leave that a little bit blurry. Only the things you say about it in play are actually set yet. What's in your head, you can change. Because what's always fun is when one character has desperate love and their love is another PC, and that PC has revenge and is like, the person who killed my family on whom I have sworn revenge is you, PCA. That's the good shit. So leave space and enough muddiness that we can aim for that. So, Kika, have you seen and learned of your Dark Fate?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Andrew, I think you can be next.
Okay, do I roll a d7 or do I roll a different number?
I'm going to get you to roll a d6.
That makes sense.
Because they ain't no duplicates. I was rather hoping for this one for you, Andrew.
Oh goodness.
I was rather hoping. You're gonna have fun. This is good. All right, Andrew, you have a read of that. Kira, who would like to go next? Kitas, you're muted.
I'll go.
All right, can you roll a d5 for me?
Yes.
All right. Kitas, you are the Black Ronin. Cool. And the reason I have color-coded you is one, because it will make it easier to see who's who, and also just because color-coding things is cool. Right? Like strong color symbolism in samurai films, it's a thing. We're going to have a good time. Kira, can you roll a d4 for me?
Yeah, except the black and white ones.
Whoa, calm down.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'm just,
Why did I bring you along? Why did I do that?
I'm sure the 7 samurai each had a different color of clothing, but we just can't see.
We just couldn't tell.
I mean, but we're Ronin, so we're just covered in dirt, and you can't tell what color we are.
We just look like peasants, but have swords. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peasants with swords.
Peasants
The
with
Ronin
swords.
story.
So we're getting into some serious stuff here, huh, Luke? Does that mean we're using the X card?
Yes, and I thank you for prompting me to talk about that.
Yes, I wasn't
Right.
sure.
Yeah, Kira.
Of course I get this one.
Yeah, right? Like it's perfect for you.
That's hilarious.
All right, so Kira has reminded me, let's just momentarily put the brakes on actual mechanic stuff. We are adults who are here together to have a good time playing a role-playing game. This role-playing game might be sad or spooky or bloody and violent, but we all want to leave with like good feelings generally and overall. So if at any point content comes up that you are uncomfortable with or that you like would prefer not to see in the game, you can either say X card, or you can send me an X privately in Zoom chat, or if you're nonverbal, you can just put your hand up to the screen and we'll see that. And we will just stop and negotiate past that content, either excise it or minimize it, whatever you need. Move on with the game. We won't ever ask you to justify why that thing is a problem. The only thing we might ask is like what specifically is the problem so we can avoid it in future. If something is good hurt or good intense, right? Like you're like, yes, our characters are fighting. I am feeling very emotional about this. I want more of like, also feel free to speak up and say like, hey, this is getting intense for me, but like it's good intense. Let more, please. Let's communicate with each other. Let's be open. We're all grown-ups. Let's use our people skills. I think that about covers it. Does anyone have anything they want to add in terms of safety stuff? All right, cool. So everyone has a dark fate. I'm excited. It's going to be great. Now, can everyone please look in the handouts? In the like folder of the handouts that's like characters, there is a handout called Zodiacs. All of you are going to pick what Zodiac your character was born under. And so there's a list of Zodiacs, and there's like some little notes about what people of that Zodiac, traditionally were thought to be like. You can follow that list as much or as little as interests you. This is more to set starting trust values, which I'll talk about in a bit, than it is necessarily to force you to play your character in a certain way. So, what are we thinking? Who has an animal that they just really like straight off the bat? Kira, are you going to be a snake?
Well,
I've got to ask.
I forgot that snake was an option until I scrolled up to it, and then I was like, how can I not be a snake? Except I would be humorless and not fond of failure.
I mean, you wouldn't have to be, though, right? Like, it's up to you to watch then. You want to follow the traditional associations.
It's true.
I was actually looking at snake personally.
Oh, if you feel
Nice.
strongly, you should do it, Kika.
I
Yeah.
may too have been looking at snake, but I have a second choice as well.
So what I'm hearing is that you're all very scaly people. This is good.
Is this the kind of thing where there are again no duplicates?
No, I think I think I know how we'd work around that with the trust stuff. So no, I think
But is
you're
the
fine.
mechanical expectation that we all be like? Does the game expect us to all pick different ones?
I don't think the game really has an opinion, to
Okay.
be honest. The game's just like, pick one.
I mean, if
We'll
someone
make
else
some
really
numbers
wants,
up.
yeah, if someone else really wants snake, I can go for hawks.
No, you're cool.
Okay.
It's cool with
Right.
me. Anyway, I can't speak for the room.
I'm good.
As I said, I have another choice in mind.
Cool.
All right. So the blue Ronin is a snake. Cool.
I'm torn between dog and rooster. Wait, dragon and rooster.
Dragon and rooster are both good choices.
Dragon dog.
Dragon dog.
I think my favorite piece of wording in the entirety of the Mountain Witch is the description of dragons as peculiar perfectionists.
Oh,
Because that's like, that's some good wording right there.
I don't think I want to be a perfectionist, so that just decided it for me.
So Kira, you're doing rooster.
I'm gonna do rooster, hardworking dreamer, shrewd and extravagant, forthright, boastful, and overconfident.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's going to be amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Andrew, how are you feeling?
I wanted to be either rabbit or dog, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at rabbit, so
Okay, well, why don't you be a rabbit,
Mhm.
Anya, and I will be a monkey.
Was that
Not a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very tricky of you, monkey.
I'm an erratic genius, inventive and original, clever and skillful, but distrustful of others.
That sounds just like you, Andrew. It's true.
What's the snake? Oh, go ahead.
Snake is charming and romantic, wise but soft-spoken, determined, humorless, and not fond of failure.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go with monkey.
All right, so Andrew's going to be a monkey. And then, Anya, what did you settle on?
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Awesome. We got some good choices here. There's a lot of interesting symbolism in this party. I'm about it. Okay, so next is a part of the game that in the original version was really weird. So we're just going to try and help each other through it. All of your characters start with 3 abilities. Okay? Here's the bit where it's weird. None of them mechanically do anything. They're all strictly fictional positioning. Like bait for fictional positioning, not for any kind of mechanics.
I'm into it.
Yeah, which it makes it a little bit tricky. I have found, thankfully, the author who is currently considering a second edition has this is one of the things he's been posting about in the lead up to it. So I've got some good fodder if anyone needs inspiration. But yeah, the basic assumptions we make are these. All of your characters have all of your characters are trained in combat. All of your characters are trained to read and write. All of your characters are knowledgeable about literature, tea ceremony, poetry, right? All of your characters were raised as samurai, and they can ride horses and they can do all the shit you would expect.
You're rich and stuff.
And you were rich. You're not anymore.
Yeah.
You have no money now. And so what abilities are for is either to be my character is as strong as an ox, or I have really good, I've got eagle eyes, or you can use them to get yourself extra shit. You can be hey, my samurai knows how to shoot a bow really well and has a bow. Or my samurai was trained in the use of explosives and carries explosives. Or my samurai knows how to heal people and has medicine on them.
But we all have swords by default.
You all have swords or Naginata. Like, you all have whatever kind of close combat weapon you'd like to have. I'm not worried about the exact aesthetics.
That's a good baseline.
Yeah.
So when you say that these abilities don't have mechanical benefit, you mean they don't
give you bonuses.
Affect conflicts.
Yeah, they affect the kinds of conflicts you can get into.
Yeah.
They don't give you like a +1 bonus in a conflict or let you roll 2 dice or like none of that shit. That's all explicitly not what they're for.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna find. I think there is in the game a specific list of like requirements for them. I'm gonna look at it and see if it's helpful, and if it's not, we're just gonna ignore it.
So we come up with 3 each, and they're just like random.
And they're not allowed to overlap.
And they're like random extras or attitudes.
Yeah, maybe one of your characters can talk to ghosts. Maybe one of your characters can only see when people are lying. Maybe one of your characters can do the like wuxia, like wire work, like stepping through the air shit. Like
these
whatever you want.
Magical things as well.
Yes, they can be magical.
We'll discuss. But yeah.
So yeah, this is very much the moment of the game where we set the barometer on the like. Look, I know myself as a person. My side of the game is going to always be pretty spooky, right? The witch is going to be pretty spooky. He's going to be weird spirits and ghosts on the mountain. That shit's just a given. This is the bit where you'll get to set your barometer about where you want to exist relative to that scale. In terms of, are you a very grounded Ronin character who's all totally mundane and doesn't believe in ghosts? Or are you like, yes, I speak with ghosts and I have strange healing, but I set your own kind of mileage on that.
Cool. What's everybody thinking?
I would like one of my abilities to be skilled and practiced in Onmyodo.
I'm about it. That's pretty cool.
For me and my ignorance, what is Onmyodo?
Okay, for non-weebs in the audience, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Kika, do you want to take this one? Or
it's like a Japanese sort of mysticism, like occultist sort of practice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're a witch in your own right?
Kind of. I think it means sort of like the way of yin and yang.
Yeah, it's a state-sponsored form of wizardry from like the 14th and 15th century.
Oh, okay.
A lot of like
not a witch then.
No, like a lot of like divination and a lot of geomancy and a lot of like blessing the foundations of buildings and naming babies and shit.
Court sorcery kind of stuff.
Court sorcery, yeah. The like approved kind of magic.
Yes.
Okay, I've got one, which is that the ghost of my dead husband is always with me and protects me, but it's not like he wants to. He's like chained to me. By the way, I killed him and then lived as him for a number of years before I was finally disgraced and kicked out of my home. He is buried in my grave.
Oh, yes.
That's what's up.
Oh, Andrew. All right, so Andrew, accompanied by the ghost of my dead husband, and then Kika, can we hone in a little more than like Onmyodo is very broad, can be like what does it let you do that it wouldn't otherwise? And actually, Andrew, same question. Right, because the focus on abilities is like what fictional positioning do they give you that you otherwise wouldn't have? Like you had followed by the ghost of your dead husband. Does that mean you can fight with ghosts, or it's like you can talk with ghosts, or like you can't be possessed, or like what does that mean? Right?
Yeah, I think he like wards off like most ghosts, like lesser ghosts definitely like can't fuck with me.
Yeah, so you can intimidate, you can outspook ghosts.
Yeah, and I have like he's like chained to me, so other ghosts are like, no, we're not messing with her. She's bad news.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So yeah, I reckon write down like you can frighten ghosts with.
Yeah, I'm fearsome to ghosts.
Yeah, and then Kika. Like I think the geomancy or the divination angles are like productive ways to push with that. Unless you want it to be like, I have a little Shikigami familiar, because that could also be cool.
I kind of think I actually started studying Onmyodo because I was at some point cursed.
Yeah, so like breaking curses and stuff.
Yeah, sort of that thing,
Yeah.
like wards and stuff.
Yeah, you can like interact with like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Write it down. I'm into it.
Does this feature some like Sailor Mars style pieces of paper that you stick on things? Is that part of this practice, or is that a
definitely.
different?
Yes,
practice?
that trope 110% comes from that.
Okay, cool. So this is giving me some reference here. That's nice. Thank you.
Very much like like that male side character in Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yeah, this is like that particular brand of mysticism that comes up as a trope in anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Kira Orchidas?
I'm kind of undecided. I have a question actually. Like, so we're climbing a mountain, right?
Yep.
And like anything could appear on this mountain. Like I was thinking like maybe I might know like mountain criminals or something. Is that
I don't know that that's an
cool?
ability.
Like being
that
connected.
Yeah, you're like connected with bandits and brigands and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you are known in that circle of people.
Yeah. Or I like owe them or something like that.
You're like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
I think it's that you have to word it in a way that makes it like active.
Oh, so it's like
like
so
the
renowned criminal.
But even then, like
side quest or side identity or something.
The key question that we need to constantly be asking because of how these work is, what does it let you do that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the key question.
Right. Well, it's find random people in the forest that are criminals. So
like tracking?
Is that bad? No. Like it would just narratively happen, right? Because anything can.
No. So that is so like abilities do not give you like that kind of like GM level authority stuff comes from your dark fate. It doesn't come from your abilities.
So I couldn't find a criminal companion on the road.
There is no circles roll in this game, if that makes sense as a statement.
Okay.
Like if you encounter it, so you could say it lets me befriend criminals who would otherwise just murder me, right? Like that is a thing that it lets you do that you would not otherwise be able to do, but it lets me make criminals appear in the narrative where they do not otherwise exist yet is not how abilities work.
Yeah.
Could Kira's character have a posse of bandits?
No.
Okay.
This is a game about 4 sad people climbing a mountain. This is not a.
Yeah.
So we don't meet any other people. It seems.
I mean, you might, but that's not a thing that you have agency over as players.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's fine.
An idea for this, if you want to still be connected to criminals, could be like, I know there's some traditional form of gambling, but like you are a skilled gambler like that.
That's cool.
Like that's your ability is that, when you come across criminals, you're
win them over with gambling.
Win them over with gambling.
Or
I
if
love
you
that.
get into some like playing dice for your soul kind of zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool as fuck. Okay,
like whatever that cup game is that's in Zatuichi.
Yeah, with the dice.
Yeah.
Or
Liar's dice,
Yeah, it's with dice and cups, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So your ability is like
here's what the number is.
You can convince people to gamble with you instead of fighting you. I think that's cool.
Okay. I'm a Ronin gamer.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know what the actual like game is, but I know that like the traditional form of gambling at this time was with cards. And I know that the government like outlawed cards multiple times.
Yeah, there was a whole like war of escalation around playing cards.
And card games got like just more and more esoteric as so because they were like, see, these cards can't be used for gambling, and then the gambling halls were like, we're gonna do it. We can make these cards that just have pictures of pretty things on it about gambling.
Yes.
Game
there's
design
this deck of
at
like
its
pseudo
finest.
tarot cards. Like we would look at them and be like, oh, it's kind of like tarot cards. Or they're just like a series of illustrations on cards that would be used for gambling. Yeah, totally.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's really cool.
Thanks for bringing that up, Anya.
Yeah, and so Kira, definitely make a note because I think you 100% have like a deck of those cards. Like,
Oh, so
yeah,
is
whatever else you want in your possessions, like you definitely get that.
Is that part of the same ability? Like
Yes.
gambling
Yeah,
cards.
Yeah,
And
it's like practice gambler who also has the necessary stuff to gamble with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you want to look into like what these cards look like, I know Nintendo was originally like a company that made
A
these
publisher.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like they were a company of ill repute because they made these cards that like only
wow.
Yakuza and I can't remember what they're called. It's like a caste in Japanese society that's like the untouchables.
Burakumin or Eta.
Yeah, Brockman.
Yeah,
Brockman.
Yeah.
I said it in the English way. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of Japanese stuff wrong. I'm just going to not do any accents, and I'm going to try to be the least racist as possible.
Read it as flatly as you can manage, and just feel like.
I think the thing about it is Japanese words have specific intonation.
Yeah.
So you can try to go for the intonation, but don't go for an accent.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I suck at both of those, so I don't speak Japanese. All my friends speak Japanese, but I do not. It's fine.
All right.
Okay.
So Kitas.
Let's drink some Sapporo Ichiban.
Yeah. Clink.
I know I want an ability that allows me to like. I don't know if this is. Reading the conflicts, it talked about food a little bit, and I want an ability that allows me to like transform meager ingredients into like more substantial food.
Yeah. Cool. I'm into that. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, you can make sustenance out of seemingly nothing. Yeah, cool.
How many abilities do we get? Was it 3?
You each get 3. And yeah, I think at this point, just to give some people to give some ideas and some like context for the space, let me like talk through some of like Tim's suggestions, right? So like, yeah, any kind of ranged weapon, right? Anything like bombs or fireworks, anything explosive, like enhanced senses of any kind, weird shit like blind, like night vision or sonar, extraordinary strength or extraordinary quickness, like beyond a normal human person, all the like wushu leaping nonsense, any kind of weird travel stuff where you can like walk through walls or travel through shadows, ninja like stealth abilities, shape-shifting into inanimate objects, disguising yourself, mind control, singing that can make people feel things, controlling the perceptions of other people with illusions, climbing, having access to rope, having access to light, like a reliable source of light, the ability to track people, talking with dead shit, seeing dead shit, having weird visions, astral projection, detecting when people are lying or reading their emotions, or detecting when magic shit is around, being telepathic, and then just like a whole range of weird magic spooky shit. Is that helpful to represent like a big range of like the kind of shit you can do?
Yeah, that's super helpful.
Can I just do my last 2 at once?
If you have it, yeah, let's go for it.
I would like another thing related to my curse where I have a frozen heart, which makes it so I can't be seduced and I'm resistant to being emotionally swayed.
My question would be again, like, what does that let you actively do? Because that sounds like a passive ability.
I think that would help me like be able to more easily tell when someone's trying to manipulate me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you can like see when people are trying to emotionally fuck with you.
Yeah.
That sounds cool as fuck. Yeah, write that down. I'm into it. And then what's the last one?
I would like to be able to play the shamisen, but like incorporate my mysticism in it to influence emotions.
Make people feel things with music? Yep. Yes. Cool as heck. I'm about it. That's good. That sounds awesome. All right. Other people, how we feeling?
I would like to have some kind of mesmerizing kimono because I'm like a rooster. So
Damn.
it's like so bright. It's so bright and colorful that like people have to pay attention to me instead of the things around me, like maybe my friends.
You've got the opposite of any kind of enhanced stealth. You're like, I am like the most noticeable always.
Yeah, that's me. It's obnoxious somehow, like this kimono.
Yeah, like it lets you like draw people's attention despite their like no matter whether they want to or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like an ability.
Is kimono the right word for what a Ronin wears? I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, right? Like it doesn't it's not necessarily a super fancy kimono, but then like maybe one of the like things that's very telling about your character is that even though you're a like shitty Ronin, you've managed to keep this one kimono like really, really nice.
Yeah.
Even though you're out on the road, you're like, no, I have to have one nice outfit still.
Yes.
I'm imagining sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm imagining like peacock kind of pattern.
Yeah, but like the colors all inverted. It's in like reds and oranges and yellows and like purples and like rooster colors. But really, that's up to Kira. Let's not presuppose what Kira's outfit looks like.
I don't have any plans, and I like all these inspirations. So thank you.
Cool.
Although I was thinking for my third one, I have is it too on the nose to have like a rooster tattoo? Like I was thinking I'm like my tattoo might come to life and become like a rooster companion or something.
That's cool. I'm into it.
That meshes so well with the gambling and outlaws like idea.
It means you're probably got some Yakuza connections.
Because like tattoos are not a thing that upstanding members of society have.
And
quote unquote good people don't have tattoos.
When your rooster tattoo comes alive, what does that let you do that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do?
Like is it a scout for you? Can it light fires in places where like otherwise that would be really difficult?
No, I think it can read people. Like it tells me what kind of a person
in terms of like whether they are a good or bad person or like what's the specific metric it's reading?
Yes, but probably if they're like a threat or not to me. Like if I
it tells you who's dangerous.
Or like if I can't, but that might not be useful because probably everything is dangerous that we're going to encounter.
I mean, like the idea that it can tell you like how things are dangerous. Like I think that's cool.
I have a question.
Or maybe it's weaknesses.
When you say it comes alive, does this like it animates on your body or does it like become a separate outside thing?
No, it like jumps, the ink jumps off of my body and manifests as a mystical rooster.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this mystical rooster.
Yeah. So mystical rooster that can read a GM determined thing.
But I think the idea of like how things are dangerous to you, I'm into that. It's you basically just have that question from Apocalypse World that's like like what here is a threat to me, like on spam with the rooster.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, all right, awesome. Andrew, how are we feeling? Spooky ghost slaver person.
Is it too much to ask that I have a spear that can just pierce anything? Is that an appropriate ability?
Let me just have a look. Yeah, and like the thing that lets you do is like go through obstacles you wouldn't otherwise be able to because you can like stab holes in like walls and shit,
or like a stone, or like a metal blade. Or something.
Because like the key thing here that like Timothy says when talking about like weapons and armor is like, remember that like abilities never grant a mechanical advantage. Mechanically speaking, a weapon will never make you a better fighter, and armor will never make you harder to kill. So I think if you've got a spear that lets you like attack things that aren't people.
Yeah, like it can go through ghosts or whatever. Like it's just
stone. Yeah, it can hit anything. Yeah, it's the essence of a ghost. Yeah, I'm into that. The essence of a spear, not a ghost. What the fuck?
Yeah. So it's this like
the most spear that is possibly imaginable.
Or I could lean into the myth of the Monkey King and have
And it's a
spear that
staff?
extends.
Oh,
Do that
yeah.
whole
Which one do you
thing?
want to go with, or do you want to go with
I don't
both?
know.
Like you've got 2 abilities left, right? You could go 1 and 2.
I want to do something super weird for my third one though. Yeah, come back to me. I gotta think.
All right, Andrew's having a dilemma. Anya?
I lost the Zoom window for a second. I'm having trouble. I think maybe some form of gutter weaponry would be a cool idea.
I am sorry, I missed the word before weaponry.
Gunpowder weaponry.
Oh yeah, cool. Like a fucking Tanegashima, like one of the matchlock rifles that the Portuguese brought in. Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah, so you can kill things at a distance, which like none of the other characters can do. I'm into it. That's cool.
Excuse me, sir. I have magic.
Fair. But then we did say your magic lets you like do shit with curses.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know if that's necessarily going to let you kill people at a distance. But anyway, we can talk about that.
It can kill them eventually.
Yeah, look, it's you're playing the long game. All right, and then Ketas, do you have a second idea? / Andrew, have you figured out
I don't
more about your strange spear?
I'm abandoning the spear entirely because I can't make a good decision about it.
Yep, that's fair. And for people who've figured out their stuff, in the character sheet there's the little abilities bit. You can just write these down, both like what the thing is and what it lets you do. So we've got a record of it somewhere.
What are you having trouble like thinking of things that are relevant for your character, maybe, or like in the theme of your characters?
Yeah, it's just like what extra permission would be cool for me is the struggle.
Wait, and what is your Zodiac again?
I am the monkey, erratic genius, inventive and original, clever and skillful, but distrustful of others.
Sorry, you go.
You could like when I think of monkeys, I think of like making things or constructing. You could build something weird or be very have a tricky power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
a mirror, or I don't know.
The obvious choice for a monkey is like climbing, which like maybe too obvious, but like that's what comes first to mind.
Here's what I'm thinking: is I lived as my husband for a long time without getting caught. And so maybe I can just like wear other people's faces.
Oh my god!
Disguise yourself as other people. Yeah, that's amazing. Write that shit down, Andrew. That's so good. I love it. And so I'm sure when we see you do that, the like means by which it happens will not be spooky and gross and bad at all.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's not like I literally wear their faces.
Is it not?
Well, no, because I can do it for people who are still alive.
That's true.
Because that makes it more awful.
Well, I mean, you can live without a face.
This is true, but... or maybe I can wear the face of anyone I've killed, and that's actually way cooler.
Because you did say you killed your husband and then assumed his identity.
And that lets me pretend to be other people, which would normally be impossible.
Yeah, awesome. And Andrew, you can keep thinking about like the exact mechanics of like...
No, I can wear the face of anyone I have killed. Because
awesome.
I had to kill my husband.
Personally killed. Amazing. Yeah. I love it.
And then his ghost is stuck with me because I buried him in my grave.
Yep.
And then...
Do you have like his spear? Is that why the spear is magic?
I don't think the spear is magic. I'm going to not do anything to do with the spear.
Okay, you just have a spear.
Think on it for a minute.
All right, cool. Ketas.
Yes, so because I'm not sure who just brought up the Zodiac. I think it was Kika. Because I'm of the rabbit, and rabbits are hedonistic, I feel like I have something to do with drugs.
Do you have drugs that let you like astral project?
Oh, definitely.
All right, cool.
It's a good day for it.
We got that Black Lotus. I guess it is 420. I left out cookies for Snoop Dogg.
It's 21st here. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Sounds like a you problem.
All right, so is that Ketis? Is that all of them for you, or are you still also a short one?
That is all of them. That is because I can transform meager ingredients. I am trained with the
gun.
Tanagashima. Yes, I wrote it down, and so I'm like,
I'm proud
yes,
of you.
I can do this. And then I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
you
what.
can get high and leave your body behind and go and have spooky vision quests.
Because I like flowery fictional text. What is a drug of the time?
Oh, opium.
Yeah, it'd be opium.
Yeah, it would be opium.
It'd either be opium or some like obscure shugendo, like some obscure weird side sect mysticism, like a bullshit that has
Or
a really
there's some
flowery
like flower or something that you eat that makes you have visions. Yeah.
The prosaic option is just opium.
Yeah.
Opium, and then you put like a drop of your blood in it. You just
Yeah, presumably part of this is that you know how to make it from regular opium into like crazy
Special
spirit opium or like vision opium, or do whatever it is that it does that's above and beyond normal drugs. Great. So everyone's already picked all their abilities. Excellent. Except for my last one, which is that I have the materials necessary and the knowledge and means to make tea that is lethally poisonous to everyone but me.
Are you actually just playing the handmaiden right now?
I mean, betrayal's an option. Someone's got to poison people. I was like, if no one poisons anyone, I'm going to poison someone.
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Thank you, Andrew.
That's like less handmaiden and more Dread Pirate Roberts, iocane powder.
Yeah. I also love that like all of you, as far as I can remember, have at least one thing so far that will let you like fuck each other over at the end of the game, which like good job everyone, well picked.
Do we? That's cool.
I mean your mesmerizing bright kimono might be able to save your life if someone decides to stab you, right? Like
I will blind you with sadness.
That's right, Kira. That's the right spirit. There we go.
I'm ready.
All right, so everyone just let's just take a minute for everyone to like lock that into their character sheets, just so I can check and review and we can all make sure we're on the same page. And then we're gonna answer your background questions.
Yes.
There are only 2 of them. And for the audience, just to like foreshadow this, the 2 questions that this game cares about are, why did you become a Ronin? And why do you need the vast sum of money you've been promised in exchange for doing this really dumb, suicidal, stupid thing?
Is this a thing, not the first one, is the second one the thing that everyone knows?
I don't think it has to necessarily be shared information.
Okay, but it's not like specifically something that isn't shared, like the dark whatever.
Yeah. So like both of those questions you're going to answer openly. Mm-hmm. If your backstory starts to edge into your dark fate, you can be like, and I'm going to leave it there. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, both of those things we as players all know about each other, even if the characters haven't shared it. Everything in this game is completely open except your dark fate, and then it's your job to tell everyone about it through play.
Should we have picked our name and gender yet?
No, that is the last step.
Okay, cool. Just checking. I was nervous.
We're getting to it.
Well, and part of the reason why the game doesn't ask you earlier is because it expects that everyone will just be dudes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be fair to Tim, right? Like, a lot of the text of the game does default to masculine as its pronoun, but there is a section in there on Onobugeisha as a historical phenomenon, right? Like, the game does acknowledge the reality that there were women who were samurai.
Cool.
I mean, that's cool.
Which, like
erase things. That's good.
Yeah, which like points for that, right?
Yeah, bonus points.
But it also does a bunch of weird things where it like assumes that the witch is a dude, and I'm like, the witch is not a dude. Like,
whoa. I like it when dudes are called witches, though.
it's good.
Like
It is good.
Boy witches or
Kira, have you checked out a podcast I'm involved with where we have some of that
please.
good male witch content?
no.
The shameless plugging.
I will have
Save
to
it for the end.
Kira brought it up. It's relevant.
Is there a boy witch?
There is a boy witch.
Deal. I'm in.
Yep. Boom.
Boy witch sounds like somewhere between a mystic and a sandwich.
I was gonna say like Boy Witch sounds like a band I would listen to.
Yeah, Boy Witch is
Also
my Russian folk metal band.
My
Boy
favorite.
Witch. Boy Witch is like a man witch, but for kids.
My favorite Boy Witch was from Sleep No More, the interactive play in New York. There's a character that's a boy witch, and he's like he's like a queer witchy character. It's super cool.
Isn't there like a DC villain whose title includes the Boy Witch?
I hope so. Anyway, I'm gonna pull us back. This is a good
Clarion
conversation.
the Witch Boy.
Still good. I'm gonna pull us back. Let's get back on track. Andrew and Ketas, have you got your ability stuff written down?
Generally, yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see it because I don't think you'll have hit save, but that's fine.
Here, I will save changes and then go back into edit. Now you can see.
Thank
all
you,
the shit.
Andrew. It's very kind of you.
Yes.
Yep. All right, cool. So
Cool.
let us now go around and answer the questions. We are going to start, I think, with the blue Ronin. Wait, actually, give me a moment. Japanese is written right to it. Yeah, we're going to start with the black Ronin, and we're going to go around the horn, across and then down. So, Ketas, why did you become a Ronin?
That's a good question.
To contextualize this question a little for people, because I know that y'all are not like necessarily massive weebs like me, there are like three categories of reasons that typically happened. Most commonly, because you fucked up and your lord was like, cool, you are dismissed, you dishonorable motherfucker now. Right? That was most common. Second most common was someone like exile, like someone like doing it to themselves. They were like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm a Ronin. Like, I cast away my samurai honor because you're a bad person or for whatever reason. And then there was the rare but super tragic one where, like, either because of their direct failure or just through no fault of their own, their lord and, like, his whole family were killed and they survived, at which point they were a Ronin and, like, no one was going to be like, cool, you can, like, swear fealty to me now because, like, oh, you're a bad, spooky, bad luck pariah. Stay the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Andrew.
What is the title of the person we would have sworn fealty to?
It would have been a daimyo.
Daimyo.
So DAIMO?
YO.
Or MYO? Okay, cool.
MYO bar, technically, but because
Um,
it's the extended O, but that's detailed that no one cares
on that note, actually, not the language stuff, that daimyo stuff. To give me some context and link it back to something I actually know about, in terms of like time, like
yeah,
time,
right?
Is this during the Sengoku Jidai?
So the game seems to assume like roughly Tokugawa era. So like immediately after the Warring States.
Yeah.
Personally, I am more interested in before / into the Warring States as a like period where things were a bit spookier and like the state religion was not as like heavily like mandated and Confucianism hadn't like as weirdly taken over. Like
yeah.
And
if that is
so
a helpful reference.
Again, for the ignorant like myself, to describe this context, it sounds like it is a time when there were lots of petty kingdoms rather than one massive unified empire, and they were all fighting each other. Is that what this is?
So the Sengoku Jidai was essentially what exactly the like main shogunate. I'm getting my terms mixed up. The main like emperor person lost power, and there was a power struggle. Or I might be getting the Sengoku Jidai mixed up with the fall of the Tokugawa shogunate.
Okay, yeah. So what happened is basically the emperor got the emperor got fucked over, either in terms of symbolically or militarily. I don't actually remember. But everything splintered down, and massive factional infighting over who would become the next shogun lasted for 30 odd years, with all kinds of swapping of allegiances and that kind of shit, and plenty of houses going extinct. And I think in a game that's all about Ronin, it's the most appropriate time to set the game,
because it provides a time that created lots of Ronin by that last means.
Exactly. And there was all this weird stuff going on also at the time with one of the main Buddhist sects in Japan became weirdly socialist and decided that the entire feudal hierarchy was a cause of suffering, and they militarized into a revolutionary movement of peasants and warrior monks and some daimyo who gave up their titles to join in, and that went all over the fucking middle upper part of Japan for a while.
That was the Ikuiki, right?
The Ikuiki, yeah.
Okay.
Which is also a thing that probably could have turned you into a Ronin if they
I was going to
killed
say
all your family or whatever.
I know exactly why.
Yeah, so Kitas.
I think that my daimyo gave up his title to become a part of the Ikoiki, and I was not
on board,
interested in that life.
Yeah.
I was not interested in the life of a monk, so I took my sword as my own and set out.
Awesome. That's cool. Write that on your character sheet. Andrew.
So I was living as my husband and was eventually found out and forced to flee.
Yes, that sounds pretty legit to me.
Yeah.
So are you, just because I'm curious about this, are we then bending the concept of the game a little in the sense that technically speaking, you were never a samurai at all? You illegally acquired the skills of a samurai while living as your husband? Or were you a samurai married to another samurai who had a mutual lord?
Yeah, and then she learned all the necessary skills through whatever means. I don't know if that was above board or not.
Yeah.
So whether or not she has come by them in the traditional means, she had all the skills and eventually decided, which we'll leave how or why, but eventually she was just nah, fuck this dude. He sucks. Yep. I will replace him.
Legit.
And then eventually got found out and had to leave in disgrace.
Yeah. So you were cast out. All right, cool. Green Ronin, Kira.
That's me.
It is you.
I think that I killed my lord. Because
wow. Okay. I maybe don't tell us anymore. Maybe just leave it at that, and you can tell us the rest of the tragic details during play.
You got it.
I think let's just cliffhanger that shit.
I mean, it doesn't have to do with my dark past, but
I mean, I'm curious to see the characters learn about that, because that's pretty intense. That's
word. You're one of those.
That's the very rare fourth option that I didn't even think to mention.
I'm a gambler and I have tattoos, so I'm just saying I'm not a good guy.
That's fair. Kika, Blue Ronin.
Okay. I think I probably learned my mystical abilities from my father, and I inherited my curse from my mother. And after my father passed, word got out about my curse, and my daimyo dismissed me because
he was
spiritual
pollution. Let's just not have that. Yeah,
pretty much.
I was gonna say fair, not really fair, but understandable.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And so here is the other thing, right? The life of a Ronin is not we see a very romantic depiction of it in a lot of media, because of some very particular historical relationships between Japanese masculinity and samurai culture. Being a Ronin was awful. It was like real shit. No one trusted you who mattered. You couldn't get really legitimate work of any kind. So you were either like incredibly, incredibly poor, scraping by on legitimate, like hard labor, like a peasant, or you were like killing people for money and like living a really brutal, awful life in that sense. Ronin were threadbare, they were friendless, they had very little to their name. And the thing that has then driven all of you to do this job, to agree to climb the tallest mountain in Japan in the middle of winter to slay a legendary witch who lives at its peak, is the fact that you have been offered like a large sum of money each. Like enough to significantly transform your life, if keeping it is what you plan to do. And so I am then obliged to ask, why do you need the money? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend it on yourself, or is there something else you need to spend it on? Black Ronin. Kitas, that's you.
Yeah, I know. The hotkey is not great.
It's not your friend.
Yeah. I think that I am trying to get this large sum of money to recruit more Ronin to my cause and become the daimyo that my past lord failed to be.
Oh, okay. You want to go legitimate. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of money. Good luck. Red Ronin?
Oh, yeah, it's me. Yeah, I'm going to reclaim my house from my uncle by bribing the daimyo. So I'm going to go sort of legit.
a dishonorable but understandable goal.
Yeah.
Kira? Green Ronin?
It is not for me because I gamble all of my money, obviously. But it is for somebody else. He's very important to me.
I think I see what you're going with this. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
And then Blue Ronin, Kika.
I think I have a younger brother who, well, he wasn't dismissed because he's not cursed. He's not really in a good position socially because of the relation.
The stain of your curse. Yeah.
I want to get the money for him.
Aw. Isn't that, look, you all have such noble motivations, except maybe Andrew. Cool. All right. So
Why
now
on me? Hold on. Tanya's motivation is to become some kind of horrible feudal murder baron.
Look, within the cultural context of the time, that is an admirable goal.
Yeah,
you want to bribe someone.
Oh,
you're shady.
Admirable motivations lead to the best tragedies.
Exactly. You'll look good at this.
We're also in like a fantasy world, a fantasy historical world.
That is true.
There could be some fantasy motivations too, right?
Right. That was on the table, but like it looks like we've picked a fairly grounded set, which I kind of like to contrast, like the world you have come from the place that you are going to enter, which is going to be a bit weird. All right. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to pick names and genders for our characters, and if you want to do some work on your look, like that's a thing you can do as well. And we're also going to work out trust. So I'm going to talk about trust in brief, in terms of just how it works. And then when we actually properly get started, probably after a break, I'll talk about conflicts and like the real guts of the mechanics. So trust is a currency that you have, and it measures the faith that you put in one another. So you record it on your sheet as a value, like a fixed value, which then over time goes up and down. And then also in every chapter of the story, which is a mechanical unit, you hand out trust tokens equal to the trust you have in the other characters, and those tokens are then spent. And then the chapter ends, we reevaluate trust values, and then we hand out tokens again to match values. Does that make sense to everyone?
So if I understand this correctly, every cycle of play, there is both a like report card situation where we decide how much we trust everyone now,
Yep.
and then your amount of available currency fluctuates based on that.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay.
So I'm also going to put a note in here because this is an important thing to understand about this game. If you die in Chapter 2, do not despair. You still get to play the game because dead PCs can still acquire, increase, reduce, and spend trust. Whether that's because you're literally a ghost or it's just your memory haunting the rest of the party, right? That's your decision to make. But like being physically dead by no means removes you from the equation. So
it sounds like you get a co-GM if that happens, Luke.
It is a little. It's a little like that.
Right.
All right. So I am now going to tell you what your starting trust values are because they're based on your zodiacs, which you picked earlier. So I'm going to go back. Ketas, what zodiac were you again? You were a rabbit?
Yes, I'm a rat.
Okay, so you start with. Give me a moment. I just need to.
Is there somewhere I put trust, or is
yeah, add a section on your sheet to write it. So you have. I just need to quickly check exactly how this works. Okay, cool. So, Ketas, can you please record? And can everyone else please record? So, everyone has 2 trust with Ketas. Except Kira. Kira, you have 0 trust with Ketas. Because the rooster and the rabbit are natural enemies, apparently.
Is there any should we write down character names?
If you want to do that before we do this, that's totally cool. I don't. This is the step to do character names. I'm not fussed what order we do. Kind of like names.
Yeah, let's do
and
names
gender.
first. So I have.
All right, let's do names first. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. All right.
I already
Names.
have my name chosen.
Cool. Kika, what is your name?
Yukimura Sayo.
All right.
How do you?
I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
In Roll20 chat.
I want to see if I've spelt it right. I was so close.
I can't see it for some reason. I'll get it.
And so presumably that's family name and then given name.
Yep.
And what are your pronouns for your character?
She, her.
Okay.
Other people?
I forgot
Talk
about
to
my
me.
family name. I think I'm ready. I am Riku. It's Riku.
Yep.
No, the family name is Izumi. That's Izumi.
Yep. And your pronouns?
There's at least one other lady, so I will also be she, her, because I just want to play a gay character.
Legit. It's a fair thing to want.
If everyone was boys, I was going to be a boy as well.
Yeah, no one at this table is going to shame you for wanting to be a gay character, Kira.
You're gonna be gay for the person with the
in
frozen
fact,
heart.
If all of you wanted to play straight people, I would be shaming all of you. Because that's not historically accurate. Samurai were gay as a maypole.
Look, Luke, I might be a good role player. I'm not that good of a role player.
Oh, straight people are okay.
Yeah, straight people in the chat, you are valid.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I cannot properly become that kind of character.
Yes.
All right. Andrew and or Ketas, how are you feeling about names?
I think I know mine.
Okay.
I am going to be Goto Yuri.
Which one is the family name?
Goto.
Yep, cool. Which one?
Gotoyuri.
Yep. And the pronouns?
They, them.
Cool.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got our characters. I've done this the wrong way around. Don't worry, I'm fixing it. I lost track of who was what color. Andrew.
So yeah,
Yes.
I'm red.
I remember that now.
My character is their family name is Koga, and their given name is Ukyo.
Ukyo?
And I think he's a trans man. I think is his deal at this point. So he has continued living as a man.
Yep. And the given name UKYO?
UKYO, yeah.
Yep, cool.
So there you go, Kira. It can also be gay if you make eyes at my character.
Can you though? Because you're a trans man.
I guess actually, sorry, I was thinking I'm backwards. Sorry, I thought you were a dude.
No.
No, you're playing a lady. I'm just dumb.
I chose a lady. Maybe I should
Everyone.
We spent all that time talking about boys immediately afterwards, and I got mixed up.
Everyone can be gay if they make eyes at my character.
This is true.
That is true.
Anya has made a good decision, and I'm proud of her. So, Sayo and Ukyo record 2 trust with Yuri. Yuri record 2 trust with each of them. Riku and Yuri record 0 trust with each other.
You're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to
say that again for me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna stick to the color coding because I think it might make it easier, at least until we learn the names of the characters.
Yeah.
So
Learned on names.
Yeah. So Black Ronin and Red Ronin, you have 2 trust with each other, both of you, mutually.
Okay.
Black Ronin and Blue Ronin, you have 2 trust with each other, mutually.
So you each write down 2.
Yep. Green Ronin and Black Ronin, you have 0 trust with each other.
Right. Who is playing Black Ronin again?
Kita's.
Me.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Did we all keep up? Was that better?
Yeah.
We all know what's going on. All right, cool. Andrew, remind me what Zodiac you are?
Monkey.
Monkey. Okay. Everyone has 2 trust with Andrew and vice versa.
I'm so trustworthy.
None of them are your ally Zodiac. It's just none of you are your enemy Zodiac either.
Yeah, I'm very.
Or you'll just have neutral Zodiac.
So I will have 2 with them. They'll have 2 with me.
Yep.
Okay. So I have 2 with everyone.
2 with everyone.
Yay.
Wait.
Yes.
Do I have 2 with them? I thought I had 0 with them.
You have 0 with Kira, Green Ronin.
Right. Okay.
Don't worry, everyone. It's only the first step of this that's really hard to follow.
It's cool.
We will once we have it established, it will be much easier. Kita's, you will need to list it separately for each person, even if the value is the same.
Yes.
Because over time it will fluctuate.
That is what I did.
Oh yeah, cool. Yes, awesome. Cool. All right, Kira, what is your Zodiac?
I'm the rooster.
You are the rooster.
Cuckoo. No, that's different.
Cuckoo. And then Kika, what did you end up with? Were you snake?
Snake.
Interesting. Okay, and both Kira and Kika, the only person you don't have a trust score with is each other, yes?
Right.
We've got your trust with everyone else already sorted out? Yep. You both have 3 trust with each other.
Whoa.
Ooh.
because the snake and the rooster are natural bedfellows, according to the Zodiac.
Natural bedfellows?
But, in the like metaphor sense. I'm not
Boon companion.
I'm not. Yeah, boon companions. Thank you, Andrew.
They both have eggs,
Yeah, exactly. Right. They're both, kind of like cool looking.
They're both morning people.
I don't know. Snakes are morning people.
They
Some
do like them some sun.
They do. That's true.
But Sayo has a frozen heart, so we can't be that close.
I mean, you can't be romantically close.
I mean, that depends on what frozen heart means.
That's also true. Yeah, like what this determines is like instinctually, because none of you like really know each other as people yet.
This
Just
is the, like,
instinctually, what is your gut read of everyone?
Yeah.
And I don't know, they're just like blue and green. There's something about the other person. You're just like, they seem legit. I don't know. So I'm now going to get you to help me out because I'm now going to give you trust tokens, which is then you can then spend.
And so in this example, Luke, I will have 2 blue tokens, 2 green tokens, and 2 black tokens. Is
Exactly.
that why color coding helps? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so I am now going to do that work. And I'm just going to get you all to help me through it. Give me a moment. All right. So yeah. So Andrew, you've got 2 of each. Yep. All right. Cool.
I do.
Yep.
I think you might have double stacked up the blues there.
Did I? Oh, you are right. Thank you. And then you got 2 with Kira. All right. And then, yep. Okay, cool. And then for Kira's character, Kika, you've got 3 trust with Kira.
Yes. Those are so cool. I really like those.
Yeah, we got production value on this show. Thank you, Eric, for making them look so good, even though I only asked you to make them yesterday. And then you've got 2 with Andrew.
They're very colorful.
Cool. All right. And then Kika, you've got 3 with Kira. And then 2 with everyone else.
I think you just put them in the wrong place because I'm Riku.
Yep, yours are underneath you.
Oh, okay.
And then Andrew's are underneath them.
You're right. Never mind.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's all good. It's all good. So yeah, so Kika, just run me through. You've got 3 with Kira, 2 with the other 2? Yep, so you are officially the most trusted person in the party. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because it's probably not gonna last very long.
That's fine.
I'm probably like the most, orderly, official looking person. So people
Straight-laced.
Yeah. So people are like, even if they don't like have the best opinion of my motivations, they feel like they know what to expect from me, I guess.
Yeah, you're predictable, and that makes you a known quantity. All right, and then Kita's
reliable watch.
Kita's, just to check, you have
2 and 2, no green.
2 and 2, no green. All right, cool.
Kita's
is least trusted. Kika is most trusted. And so we begin. All right. All right. So, chat, just to go through this for y'all's sake. Yes, thank you. That is a good point. I might, put in a bar there to separate. You were saying, we can separate green and red. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, chat, just to talk to you about how to read this diagram. To see how trusted a person is, look at the tokens under them to see how much a person trusts other people, see how many tokens of their color other people have. Does that make sense to everyone? This is a bit fiddly and weird. We're going to get through it together.
Yeah,
No, I
makes
trust
sense.
people.
I think that's a cool visual.
Trust is something that you give out.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So the tokens
Kika,
represent how much trust you have given to others.
You have, the tokens for trust, So the pile underneath you represents the trust that has been put in you. The ones that are under other people are the ones you have given out.
Ah, okay.
So Kita's has not given a lot of trust and has not received a lot of trust. All right, so I think we might take a break there. We're all done with character creation. We're all finished. It's time to climb a mountain. We can come back in after the break. We'll talk about the rules for like the mechanics of this game, and then we'll get into some spooky mountain climbing.
Yay!
All right, chat, hang around, stick around. We will be back in 5 minutes or so. We will see you on the flip side. Hello, chat, and welcome back. It is time to play The Mountain Witch. So, I think to begin, I'm going to talk briefly about the mechanics of this game, and then we're just gonna get right on into it. So, most of this game is just freeform role playing, right? It's just like I will describe a thing and be like, "What do you do?" And you'll be like, "We do some cool stuff." I'll be like, "Cool. Let me describe another thing. What do you do?" Right? Most things go like that. The mechanic that the game has, its conflict resolution mechanic, is called conflicts. When they happen, normally they happen because one of y'all says a thing happens, and then one of you says, "Go fuck yourself. I disagree." But also sometimes I will be like, you're walking along and you come to a great big very wide river and it's too wide to simply be swum across. So you're gonna need to make you're gonna have to have some kind of conflict with the river to get across. And then it's up to you how you want to frame that, whether that's like we summon the spirit of the river and we fight it to the death, or it's like, I don't know, we like swim across the river, or it's like we build a boat. I don't fucking care, right? Like whatever that looks like, you can frame a conflict in a bunch of different ways. The procedure of conflict goes like this. The conflict starts. The player having the conflict declares their intent. The player initiating. Then the GM declares their intent. Intent is like 100% like Burning Wheel. Conflicts are basically like Burning Wheel, right? Like we're having a conflict now. Narration stops. We do the mechanic thing. We resolve it. Then we narrate what it looks like and we backfill. So player initiating says their intent. GM or player on the receiving end, if it's PvP, like declares their intent. We're going to write those down on the overlay so everyone can see them and we all remember what we agreed to. Then we roll dice. Then we look at the dice and we figure out the dice stuff. And then, and this is the thing about this game that's kind of weird, the winner narrates the outcome with like GM level authority. So if you win the conflict, you get to say forever and always what that looks like, and I can't say no. So, in terms of rolling dice, everyone rolls 1d6. If I have a mob of things attacking you, I get to roll like multiple d6 for each of them and then take the best one. If you guys are working together, you get to roll 1d6 each and take the best one. The margin between the two rolls is the margin of success, and that determines how much of a good outcome you get to narrate. If you fail a conflict, you can't just reattempt it. It's just like Burning Wheel, let it ride applies. The key thing about conflicts in this game is how trust interacts with them, which is like this. If you spend trust in a conflict, so if the blue Ronin and the red Ronin are like fighting off a bunch of things together, and the red Ronin spends trust, you both roll 1d6 and you add your totals together rather than just taking the best result, which is like exponentially mechanically more powerful because no matter how many things I attack you with, the highest number I am ever able to roll is a 6. And so if you want to like be effective and kill things in this game, you need to have trust with each other and spend it to help each other. But the other thing you can use trust to do is to spend it 1-for-1 to get a +1 bonus in conflicts against the person who gave it to you when you stab them in the back. So there's a delicate dance on the edge of a knife that you all must do there. The other thing you can spend trust on, which is kind of weird, but we're going to go with it and we'll see what happens, is if someone's just won a conflict, you can spend a trust point they've given you to steal narration rights, and you get to narrate the outcome of the conflict instead. And so maybe what they wanted to do was like beat the enemy Ronin in a fight and kill him. And you can be like, cool. Instead of it being a case of like, yeah, I fight the guy and I look really cool and I kill him. It's like, cool. He's beating you the whole time. You trip, you fall, and then like he slips badly on the ice and he falls and you like stab him in the chest and it's really inglorious and you cheated. Like you still get your intent, but I'm going to narrate it in such a way it makes you look awful. That is the thing that you can do if you steal successes from each other and narrate them instead. That's pretty much the game. One of the forms that success can take is damage. So if your intent was to hurt a person, you can deal them damage. Depending on the margin of success, the damage, which is a -1 penalty to future conflicts, lasts a varying amount of time. If it's serious enough, you can be taken out of the game. Your character can be taken out. Normally that means you're incapacitated within the fiction, which is a thing you can recover from. The only time it will ever result in your character dying is if that was explicitly the intent of the conflict. Are there any burning questions or any bits of that make no sense at all?
I have a not about that question.
All right, let's hold that just until we're sure we're good on mechanics. Everyone good with mechanics? We all that makes sense to people?
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I was just wondering if there are situations where maybe you're doing a conflict or scene that only has 2 players involved. Would one of the other 2 players be able to come into that, or no?
So you're always,
or we just assumed always in a group.
The assumption of the game is that most of the time you're all going to be in a group. Yeah, okay. If 2 people are having a conflict and you want to frame yourself into the scene, most of the time I'm going to be yeah, cool, that sounds legit.
Okay.
And then Kira, you had a question.
Yeah, so it was kind of along those lines. It sounds like there's a lot of purposeful PvP in the game, right? So we're supposed to kind of work with each other, but also work against each other. So when would we roll? I don't know. When we roll to interact with each other, it seems like it's going to be negative mostly. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. The resolution mechanic is called conflicts for a reason, right? There is no mechanic in this game for having a nice conversation with one another.
Cool.
The arc of the game, because this is an indie game, this is a thematic game, I don't feel any qualms about being here is the kind of narrative we're trying to emulate, and then us all deliberately doing that, right? Yeah. So we're gonna we start off, everyone's dark fates are secrets, we're climbing a mountain together, the mountain is really dangerous, and so we all have to put trust in each other to survive, and there's maybe a bit of petty bickering, but we come together as a group. And as we get further up the mountain, more and more weird and slightly threatening kind of hints about each other's dark pasts are coming out, and maybe we're reevaluating our trust in each other a little bit, but also things are getting more dangerous, and so we kind of have to keep trusting each other. And then we finally get to the top of the mountain, and the mountain witch is there, and maybe we get to facing the mountain witch, or maybe we don't, but people's dark fates actually start coming out, and oh shit, everyone is torn apart by revelation, and then you all stab each other in a violent orgy of death. That's basically the arc of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that answer your question in terms of the kinds of ways we should be interacting with each other when?
Yes. Yeah. I guess it was in relation to into the trust mechanic. It seems like we only used our trust against each other.
No, so you can
against each other.
No. So yeah, okay, yeah. So the main use of trust is if you are working together in a conflict against something else.
Right.
You can spend it to add your dice together rather than just taking the best number.
Yes.
Which gives you exponentially better results.
Yes.
And that's the main use case of trust. And for most of the game, that's probably going to be the thing it's being used for.
Okay.
The betraying people bit is probably only going to come up once we start having conflicts against each other, which is probably going to be later on.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens, right? Who knows? Anything's possible. You all might only make it halfway up the mountain before you all turn into a horrible paranoid mess of knives. I'm not in charge. This is like Monster Hearts. You guys make things bad, and I just follow you around. Anya, you had a question that was unrelated to this, a different question.
Yeah. Just want to make sure first that everyone is cool on questions, mechanical questions.
Yeah, are we good with mechanics now? We're fairly happy.
Okay. Yeah, about naming convention.
Yes.
What name do we say? I'm fairly sure we say the family, we call people by the family name unless we know them really well.
Yeah, the standard practice would be use a person's family name. Yeah, unless you have using their personal name is an extension of it's an offering of intimacy.
Yeah.
Depending on how distrustful you want to be, you could even just literally call each other by your colors, because like I'm assuming that to some extent your character's appearances are color coded accordingly. Because otherwise the color coding is a bit weird. But like, yeah, it's really up to you, like how much we want to play with that element, or if we all want to be like, nope, we just call each other by our first names like we would in the West. Like, that's also fine. Whatever's easiest.
I mean, if that's the case, I would like to go with the traditional, like, call each other by our family name thing.
That sounds cool. Those are our the first names listed.
Yeah, the
right?
first
So,
names
like,
that are listed.
Yeah.
So, like, my character's family name is Goto.
So would we call you like Goto-san or whatever?
Yeah.
Would that do we use honorifics, Luke? Do we
Yeah, new question.
Again, that is up to you. Like, because again, that's a thing where like varying levels of familiarity with the culture, like,
yeah,
becomes a thing, and so like it's up to you what you want to set as the level there, and then I will follow your lead.
Okay.
Like I'd be happy to play the subtle honorific game like until the cows come home. But if y'all aren't also equally enthused and able to follow that, then I'm not going to.
I'm not super well equipped to do that. I know a few basic ones and none of the like nobility related ones that might come up here.
I mean, none of you are aristocrats, so like,
so they don't even matter. So it would just be like,
if other people are down to use honorifics, I would be. And then my first question would be, what is the like a general honorific? The like, because I'm more used to like student honorifics.
I think San would be probably the starting default.
Okay.
Progressing to and again, this is one of those irritating gendered cases in Japanese, like kun or chan, if you were more intimate. And then like the ultimate level of intimacy would be like using each other's first name without any honorific at all. That's the like, okay, like now we're like close thing.
Cool.
Yep. Everyone on board with that? We all good?
I think I can manage.
All right, I'm going to read some flavor text.
Oh shit, the box text.
The box text. Are you ready? Is everyone chat? Are you ready for some box text? So, as you watch the night sky start to gray over a sea of clouds, you recall the events that brought you to the icy slopes of Mount Fuji. As a Ronin, you are used to a hard and lonely life, traveling from village to village, looking for whatever employment you can find. So naturally, when you were approached with this offer, you quickly accepted, not fully realizing what you were getting into. Now you find yourself far from help, preparing for an assault on Oyanma, the mountain witch themselves. At your side are a group of Ronin you neither know nor want to know. A group of Ronin who all carry a similar story to yourself. Who knows what the dawn of this day will bring? So, I think we come in on dawn. We pick up the game at dawn. A little after like the first rays of light. So the sun is in the sky fully now, rose and kind of pale blue streaking the still a little dark sky. And ahead of you from the hill where you've made your camp through the last evening, you can see a dark, brooding, tangled, overgrown forest, through which then rise up the lower slopes of Fujisama, the great mountain. The top of the mountain is snow-capped as much as you can see it, but also like wreathed in cloud, where you can see like distant flashes of lightning crackle. And you know that up there lies the mountain witch that you have come to confront. But before you first lies this forest. Thick, trackless, known to be haunted by spirits. What do you do?
Well, I guess I'll speak up first. So Ukyo is generally first to get up in the morning. That's vibes with everyone else. And he has like already packed all of his stuff and is like ready to go when the others are waking up. And he's up at the very edge of the forest, like with a knife out, making a walking stick out of some like fallen branch or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Fallen wood, not cut wood.
Yeah, fallen wood.
Oh.
He hasn't cut down a tree because that would be Danger Town. And yeah, he's like got this walking stick. It is like humming tunelessly as he like clears away some little branches off of it. And what he's really doing here is showing the like ghosts that he expects to be in the forest, that he's not afraid of them.
Yeah.
Like right at the edge of the forest being like, yeah, it's cool. I don't even need to look at you. It's like the way that other people might approach dealing with like hostile animals or something, of like getting them to chill by like not really acknowledging them.
A show of disinterest.
Yeah. He's doing that kind of thing.
All right, cool.
Like
I mean,
that tune.
That sounds like a conflict.
Cool, great.
Right? Because I don't think the ghosts are necessarily on board with that. So let's test out these rules. Let's give this a go. Give me just a moment to make something visible in the overlay for everyone. All right, so Andrew, what is your intent? What do you want?
My intent is fuck off, ghosts.
That everyone travels like unmolested by ghosts?
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's something to do with like the walking stick that he's making that will like act as a token for this.
Yeah, like a talisman of some kind.
Like a little bit of a talisman, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I think the intent of the ghosts. Because I feel like the scope of time that this role is going to cover is like most of the journey through the woods.
Like if it takes us all morning to get through the woods or whatever, this is that whole span.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like that's kind of like what the intent is pointing us towards in terms of scope. I think the intent of the ghosts is to make you acknowledge their power. Like at some point during the journey, like they want you to like acknowledge and fear their power and like admit the fact that like they are more than you are used to. So yeah, to frighten, to make Ukyo fear and respect them. Yeah, and I think there's more than one ghost in this wood. I think you can feel like on you the gaze and the weight of multiple attentions.
Come at me, ghosts.
I think away like through the trees in like the deepest part of the forest that you can see between all the like screening foliage, I think you see for a moment like the flicker of a light. But it's like a bluish kind of like seen through water, like firelight that just like dances there for a moment and then is gone as some spirit passes by. I think I'm going to say there are 4 ghosts working against you here. So you are going to roll 1d6. I am going to roll 4d6. We're each going to take the highest number, and we're going to see who wins.
And of course, in this moment, I must say, if anyone wishes to help me out by spending some trust to be involved in some way, either
to also be present in this moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I was waiting for the opportune time.
Yeah, totally. So
I would like to do that. I think
So how is Sayo involved in the scene?
I think I wake up next. Like I'm kind of a light sleeper, and the rustling around sort of wakes me up in the morning. Koga's rustling around. Like when I get up, I think I probably had everything set aside for the next day already. So while I'm waiting for the others to get up, I take out my shamisen and go to sit near Koga, and I sort of start playing it, sort of make it seem like I'm just idly passing the time, but I'm really trying to use it to calm the spirits.
Yeah, nice. All right, cool. So both of you are going to roll, and you're going to add your numbers together. And Kika, I'm going to take one of the points of trust that Andrew gave you, and I'm going to delete it because you have spent it on this. Boop, boop. And yeah, so you guys are both going to roll and add it together. I'm going to roll 46 and take the highest, and we're going to see what's going to happen.
Well,
this is a much better plan than the plan I had to get the ghost to stop.
Beat a 4, Luke.
I got a 4.
Okay,
so
it's a tie.
This is a tie. Let's have a look. Tie. Oh, so either no one gets their intent, right? No one gets what they want, or we can both agree to mutually simultaneously get our intent.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that latter option is more the one for like if your characters are having a climactic final duel and you get a tie, you can just be like, cool, we both kill each other. Boom. So in this case, I feel like no one gets their intent makes more sense.
There's a version of that where Ukyo has to like fear and respect the ghosts while we are passing through, like
and go unmolested as a result. Yeah,
like that the group travels untroubled except for Ukyo. But fuck that shit. I'm not afraid.
All right, so
bending at the knee here.
Okay.
Ghost.
So it's a tie. All right, so
and so having made this stick, we're like walking through the woods
on a tie. GM gets narration rights.
Okay, go for it.
So first,
I mention one detail.
I will allow it,
which doesn't affect outcomes or anything, but just like the stick, the token. Ukyo like taps it on trees as we're passing through the woods.
Yeah, that's
like
very
ward
nice.
Stuff off. So there's this like tack, and then
yeah. That's very
just
nice.
That little detail. So like as we're passing through the woods, he's doing this.
All right. So I'm curious. Izumi and Goto, what does it look like as the two of you wake up?
I think that Goto is not a gentle person. They're large, and as they get up, they let out like a large, almost roar. But it's like it's really just the sound of them stretching. And they get up and probably say to oh no, what is Kika's character?
Yukimura?
Okay, Blue. Probably say to Yukimura, if you keep playing that shamisen, you'll put me back to sleep.
I start playing a more upbeat tune.
Yeah, and Ukyo's like, no accounting for taste, as he like finishes making his walking stick.
I think it's fine. It's rather nice to wake up to, actually. And Izumi stretches and sits up.
I just smile to Izumi and nod a bit.
Yes. Although maybe you just have to get used to it, Goto. You know, it isn't an acquired taste. It's very easy to like good music, but maybe you haven't been around much of it. You know, Yukimura is a very skilled musician, the best I've ever heard.
I'm not saying that it's not a pleasant sound. I'm saying it's too pleasant for this sort of place.
Oh, well, that's much better.
All right, and I think that's the point at which like we fade out of this conversation, and we come in on the woods, and this is as a reference to everyone. Like this is the Japan's infamous suicide forest. It grows around the feet of Mount Fuji. So it is like thick, trackless, huge, like gnarled, twisted ancient trees because no one has ever chopped down wood in here. No real paths through it because there are no animals around, and just like eerily silent. Even your footsteps on like the fallen leaves and the leaf litter underfoot like make the sound seems like dampened by something. There's no animals at all. And you move through the forest. And so we just get like a montage of you all moving through it with Ukyo tapping away with the stick.
Yeah, and it like echoes in this totally silent forest. There's just a tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, it like echoes for a moment and then like fades again really eerily. And I think the trees clear out a little. They grow taller. I think you come down into like a little bit of a hollow, and we like the camera pulls back slightly as we see you going down this little path into it. And the trees are thicker here overhead so that there's very little light, just like individual shafts piercing down, but they're less thick down at your height so you can see a little further. And ahead you see the shadowed shape of two wooden posts like standing up out of the ground, and then a pair of posts stacked on top of them. The gate of a shrine. And then surrounding it, strung in a circle of trees, like very, very white in the darkness, is a rope made and woven out of rice paper. And you can see within some kind of like dark, squat shape that is probably like a shrine structure. What do you do?
This is probably fine to walk through. This is still a good idea, right, everyone? We're all dedicated to this.
Would my backgrounds with Onmyodo help me like understand more about this shrine?
Yeah, if you want to ask me questions, like the game doesn't have like a dedicated mechanic for it. Like if you have a question about things your character senses or whatever, just hit me up and I'll answer it if I think you know. And if I think you would have to face resistance, we can have a conflict.
Yeah, I probably would like cautiously get closer and try to figure out more about this shrine, like what the shrine is to and what its purpose is there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we see you come through the forest right up to like the edge of the rice paper.
Yeah.
And like the sacred boundary.
And I stop right there.
Yeah, and there's, I think, some leaves shift overhead. Probably there's wind outside, and like a beam of sunlight comes down and like illuminates every mote of dust in the air, and then falls across this like central stone sculpture in the middle of the shrine. And I think the sculpture is of a person, like a human person, but like a caricature of one, with very long, very thin arms and very long, very thin legs, and a little like pot belly, and like these very, very sunken eyes, and this like huge gaping mouth. And they're kind of faceless. Like their face is basically just that. Like there's no nose and there's no like eyebrows or hair, and there's no suggestion like that there was once and that it was then worn away. It's like it was sculpted without them. Just this like faceless figure. And I think you have the knowledge base to know this is a hungry ghost, the figure that this depicts. the soul of someone who is like restless and wandering forever because of the attachments they had in life.
You said that this is this is in the shrine?
Yeah,
Or before it?
This would appear to be the figure that the shrine is dedicated to.
I would turn to the party and just ask, does anybody have any food on them that they wouldn't mind giving up?
I'm saving this.
I think Goto steps forward, and like there's like a pouch on their side, and they dip a hand into it and like bring out some kind of like seed or nut or dried berry kind of thing, possibly all of those together, and like kneel down and sprinkle it at the foot of the shrine.
All right, so you've stepped like through the torii and into the enclosure.
Oh,
like this.
Before,
sorry, the sculpture is like inside inside the shrine. It is the figure that the shrine is dedicated to. Like, you're gonna have to go in there if you want to interact with it.
Why not?
I mean, okay.
Unless you like call out to me, Yakimura.
Would I know like the proper procedure for doing this sort of thing?
I think like all of you as like, you know, like classically like literate educated people are aware of like the basics of how to approach a shrine, right? Like,
okay,
clap twice, bow twice, all that stuff. In terms of like the specific rites to deal with a yurei, like a hungry ghost, probably not. On Myodo didn't draw like hugely on Buddhist tradition, and it's more of a Buddhist concept.
Okay.
Oh, if this is a Buddhist concept, then never mind. Goto has very different feelings if this is a Buddhist concept.
I mean, it's a Buddhist way of thinking about ghosts that are neglected and abandoned, but like the ghost is still a person, right? Like,
yes.
And I think like I think all of you know, and I think it kind of comes back to all of you as you look at this, right? This like sad, hungry, like ghost statue. Like this forest is known to be haunted because, among other things, like people come here, samurai who've disgraced themselves and don't want to live as Ronin as you have, or like people who are cursed and wish to end their suffering. Like people come to this forest to kill themselves. That's why it's haunted. And all of those ghosts are the kind of people who like are not going to then like slip into the next reincarnation with ease. And I think Ukyo, you can tell that the trick with the stick is not working. Like there is heavy like sense of watchfulness and attentiveness in this like dark space that you're all in.
I would like to use my rooster.
All right, cool. What does that look like?
I guess is Goto still up there, like in the shrine area? I guess. Like, are you still?
If Goto is also getting this sense of being heavily watched.
Oh yeah, like you can feel that like there are spirits around and they are paying attention.
I think Goto is a brash person, and in their there's two feelings I'm getting from Goto. Either they're brash and they have like thrown off all kind of like Buddhist and Shinto belief, or they have gone hard into the Shinto. But Yeah, I think they probably gone hard into the Shinto on that end. So they probably started to approach the shrine, but before they got to the threshold, they would have like stopped and like knelt down and tried to get some sense, not mechanically, but get some sense of what is causing the spirits to draw close.
Cool. So Izumi will just walk her up right next to Goto, and I don't know, like maybe shake her right shoulder a little bit, and like it like makes the kimono fall down a little, and you can see like the very top of the rooster tattoo. You know, kind of like, I don't know if everyone can see this. I think it's fine if everyone sees it. It's kind of cool. And then it kind of jumps off and lands on the ground and skitters around and shakes feathers and kind of tries to get its bearings. And then looks at Izumi and looks at the statue and then looks back at Izumi like, what the hell did you put me here for? So I don't know. Is this a roll that I should make?
I mean, what do you want to know?
I want to know, like, is there some kind of weakness to this or way around it, or
yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think what you get from the rooster, and I suppose my other question is, because I'm really curious, is like, how do you receive this information? Like, does it come and talk to you? Is it that like when it fades back into your skin, like you just have the knowledge? Does it talk out loud? Like, how does the communication work?
I think it makes rooster noises, but I understand what it's saying.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it lets out like a scornful crowing noise.
Yeah.
That like breaks the silence like really jarringly.
That's cool.
And you get like, idiot, just go around it. But like, you might make it angry.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
When I see the rooster, can I like be like, oh, and I like walk up to it and like I just grab it and pick it up and start walking towards the shrine with it?
Sure, you can. I mean, it's fine with me. Izumi will run after you, and the rooster is probably wriggling like hell in your hands. And she'll be like, no, that is my rooster. This is not food.
I don't know about anyone else. I'm picturing that the rooster is like not like, it doesn't look like a real rooster. It looks like a drawing of a real rooster, but instead of them just being inclines, they're like glowing. So it's like the glowing artistic outline of a rooster, just like wiggling and like flapping its wings and like, arr, arr.
Yeah, my thought was like the drawing of a rooster in Japanese tattoo style.
Yeah, exactly. But like
that is
animated
come to life.
Oh, I thought it just looked like a rooster.
Maybe it's both those things. Maybe it looks like it's like a physical rooster. You know, you could pick it up, right, for dramatic effect. But it also has like, the tattoo magical stuff looking to it. Like it's the most beautiful rooster you've ever seen, and it's these very dramatic roosters.
It could be a rooster with the coloring of a traditional tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I love the idea of it being really brightly colored and ostentatious.
And like even though there's not a lot of light down here, you can still see the coloring, which is kind of weird.
Yes, it's mystical. It's not touching that mystical rooster, yo. Are you willing to do that, or do we have to roll something?
Yeah, is this a conflict?
I don't think so. I think my character would just be like, what? Why do you have a rooster? Where did you have it before?
I just keep it, close to me.
Must be very well trained.
It is very well trained. It's like a companion. It's my lucky rooster, as a matter of fact. I have never lost a game with this rooster.
A game of what? Oh
no. We lost Kara.
We never did find out what game she never lost.
right, we found her again.
Okay.
It's a bad luck rooster.
It was a bad luck rooster. Sorry.
No, when I took the good luck.
Yeah, that's right.
A game of cards. I play cards. Don't you play cards? We're taking a gamble right now, just walking up this mountain, aren't we? Just give me back my rooster.
Gambling's illegal. But I guess that doesn't matter now. I hand back the rooster.
Thank you. That's how you deeply.
I guess when you touch my hand, when you take the rooster back, you feel that my hands are like really cold, like I've been out in the rain or something.
You're freezing. You should wear more layers. She says.
Yes, I'll make sure to buy more layers in this forest somewhere.
Oh, I think I might have. No, I have nothing. Never mind. This rooster is the last thing I own.
I think in this moment, Yukimura, I think you do actually see there's like a rustling sound from overhead, and the shaft of light like momentarily widens as the treetops are tossed. You see like the shrine more fully illuminated, and there is like an old pile of rocks covered in moss that looks like someone arranged them once to be kind of like the shape of like a bed, so that like someone maybe like tended this shrine once. And there is like draped over a tree branch next to that, like there are like some like robes, old heavy like shrine keeper's robes, like made for warmth. Ukyo, you feel 5 cold points press into your shoulder, 4 on the front, 1 in the back, and like a slight pressure. And you realize that like ever since the like rooster started squawking, like that sense of being watched has like intensified.
So I think we should go.
I think we should tend to this shrine first, personally. Ukyo, if you do not wish to enter, I will do so in your stead.
Yeah, and
I try to say I don't mean Ukyo, I meant Koga.
Oh, sorry.
Or Goto, whoever. Whoever has the food,
yeah.
I address them using as respectful as possible.
So you are addressing Goto?
Yes, Goto. Sorry. So yeah, Goto-san, if you don't wish to enter the shrine, I will do so in your stead.
I do not believe it would be wise. I get the feeling that the spirits are pressing closer.
I think if we were to appease them, that would be best.
I don't think we can appease all of them. We don't have enough food or enough honor among us.
I think in this moment, as they start, like, we should appease them. We shouldn't appease them. Goto pulls off the matchlock from their back.
Okay.
Loads powder into it, but no shot. And then should I just tell you my intent?
I mean, tell me what you do, and then if it's a conflict, we can talk about it, and then we can talk about like what results of that.
Yes. So
do you shoot the statue? Is that what we're heading towards?
So not putting in a shot.
Yeah.
Just powder. Goto is going to fire into the air to scare off the spirits.
Yeah, right, totally. Yes, that's a conflict.
Yes.
All right, so what is your intent?
My intent is to show the spirits that they should be afraid.
So to make the spirits fear you?
Yes.
And is that you specifically or the group?
The group. Us.
Yeah, fear the group. The intent of the spirits is to punish Goto for their insolence. Cool. All right, so Kitas, you're going to be rolling 1d6. Again, I think there's like a couple of spirits present here, so I'm going to be rolling a couple of dice.
Oh, God.
If anyone steps forward to get involved in this, like now is the time.
This is the worst idea ever. I'm not involved.
Oh, it's totally the worst idea. That's what makes it great.
I'll step in as someone who is good at scaring ghosts. And so yeah, when Goto-san like fires their matchlock, I'll spend one of my trust tokens, Luke, to have Ukyo like, I think they just like slam their walking stick down on like some of the, because there's like flat stone in this area around the thing, and it makes this like weirdly loud like supplemental sound.
Okay, so it like
there's
elongates
the sound of a bell or something when they do it instead of so like when he hits the stick down, it makes the sound of a bell instead of the sound of a stick on a rock.
Yeah, cool. All right. Do you guys want to roll first? Or do you want me to roll first?
I can roll.
We'll show you how it's done.
Them's fighting words.
4. That's a pretty big number.
7.
All right. So you definitely win. The question is how much you do it by.
Oh.
So all right. 4.
So that is
great success.
Yeah, that's great success. So Kitas, you get your intent plus a small extra thing. Describe to me what happens. What does this look like?
Yeah, I think so again, Goto pulls out the matchlock, loads it with powder, and then just like raises it into the air without like aiming it, and just fires, and there's a gout of flame and smoke comes out of the barrel, and just this crack reverberates through the forest, and this is the first sound that hasn't been deadened by the forest. And that feeling of like encroaching darkness and spirit like just sweeps away. And I think that I get a big something or a small something.
A small something.
A small extra thing.
Yeah, which you can narrate. If you want to find a stream to drink from, you can have that. You want the light back, you can have the light back. Like
you can take those robes.
Yeah, you want the robes, you can have the robes. Like
I think the rope of the shrine starts to fray and starts to like fray and break.
Oh, does it do like the old paper thing where it starts to like decompose a little bit? Like suddenly time catches up with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ukyo just mutters like, "Ghosts should know their place in service of the living." Like tisks, and then keeps walking into the woods.
Yeah, and I think unless anyone has any more business here, I think you all move on, and we linger, and for a moment, and we just get one last shot of like yeah, the rope now like sad and drooping and like damp and no longer this like brilliant shining white, and just this lonely statue with just these like deep hollow eyes and this gaping empty mouth, just like mournful and sad. And you push on. And I think having come through this hollow, like you've reached like the physical nadir of your journey. The emotional nadir is still lies in your future. And like the ground starts to slope up again, and there begins to slope up into the foot of the mountain. And so now you're climbing this like uneven like switchback path that like it seems like is probably a deer trail or something of the sort from like long years ago when there were deer, because it's like grown over and there's moss and ivy and creepers just everywhere. And you go up and up and up until the trees start to thin out, and I think you can hear distantly and like maybe see like the very beginning glint of ahead in the distance a river or a stream, some kind of water source from like not quite the edge of the forest, but like very close to it. And like light is now filtering down both through the trees, but also like from ahead of you. And so everything, rather than just being this like dark, like black green, suddenly we're in like a more naturalistic palette of like red, browns and greens and grays. What do you do?
Oh, thank goodness I could use a bath at last, a river. And she strides confidently towards the river and sticks her foot in to see how cold it is. And
so you come out of the darkness, into like there's a little part in the trees, so you can see the sky properly for the first time since like morning. I think overhead, like it's now like past midday, the sun is like starting to tip in the sky. It felt weirdly timeless in the forest. I think like you all lost track a little bit of how long it was taking. And you can see like ahead of you probably like maybe another like half hour's journey, like the treeing of the slopes ends, but like thinner treeing and smaller trees kind of bent and wizened by the wind. Between you and there, this broad, placid looking stream. It's probably like 3 or 4 meters across. It seems to be coming from like upstream seems to be to your right and downstream seems to be to your left, but it's kind of flowing like cutting across your path.
Our path being like straight up the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's flowing from like down the mountain across and then curving to go further down somewhere.
And it's winter, so everything is cold as.
Yeah. Like I think.
I forgot it was winter.
Yeah, nothing is like frozen because the river is like moving.
The river still runs.
Yeah, albeit slowly. But yeah, it's like deep, like black water. Like you can't see the bottom.
It's black water.
Not like literally black, but like
like
dark. The shadows mean that like it's just like this deep like black blue color. Like there's no detail visible in the water.
Not supernaturally inky or anything.
No.
Cool.
No, sorry. If that was what I meant, I would have described it spookier.
I mean, she sticks her foot in it, and
it's very cold.
So she's not gonna like dive in. I don't know what she was expecting. It's obviously not a hot spring. I'm sorry. What Onion?
I was going to say, I think before you can like get your foot in, Goto like puts their hand on your shoulder, or actually probably like you've like taken off your shoe and are like going to dip your foot in, and they like grab your ankle, and they say like Izumi-sama, you should give proper respect before doing something such as this. And then Goto like kneels down at the edge, and I don't know enough about Shinto to like do this properly, but like he kneels down at the edge and like
Genuflects.
respectfully dips their hands into the water and like brings it up.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Oh yeah.
And I think you also like how deep. Like, do you just cup your hands like just enough to get water in them, or do you like reach down into a little further into the river?
I think they reach further.
Yeah, like once you get past that first like 4 inches or so, like you feel the current like pull, and like you're fine. It's not like you swept off your feet or anything, but like the surface placidity of this river is a lie. Like this river runs strong and deep, and deeper than you see.
Yeah.
And I think it's at about that point that you hear like a cracked peal of laughter from the other side of the river. From like somewhere in the trees.
Mm-mm.
Just
Was that you?
About.
Was that you, Goto?
Goto like looks up and is like, there must be some creature of the river playing a trick on us. This river is not as still as it seems. And they like drop something like a rock that isn't like too, so it isn't going to sink immediately to the bottom. So it like gets past those first few inches, and you can see it like drift like super fast.
Yeah, it drifts like very fast across, but also like is tugged down.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that you saved me from an untimely swim.
There's another peal of laughter.
I would like to silently approach the river and take out a talisman and quickly write a figure on it, and then just sort of gently toss it onto the river, attempting to curse the river so it freezes over.
Cool. That sounds like a conflict. Yeah. So what you want is to freeze the river so you can walk across it?
Yes.
And the river's intent is to bar your path. I think it's that simple. The river wants you to not be able to do that. All right, so let's roll.
All right.
So it's 1d6 for you. And then you are facing the river and another force. So I'm going to roll 2d6 and keep the best.
Okay. And if anyone wants to help, they can.
I'll help you. I will. Well, I don't know. I will somehow steady you. Because I'm in order to help, would I do an additional thing that I would do, or would I just help?
Yeah, you need to take fictional action of some kind to be able to spend trust.
Gotcha. I can't think of anything I would do fictionally, actually. I might be a bad choice.
Do I have trust? Yes, I do. Cool. Yeah, I think as with most things, most problems Goto believes this can be solved with a gun. Actually,
kill the river.
Kill the river. Well, I'm wondering, Luke, if this laughter is coming from a certain creature, but would Goto know that?
I think Goto has enough like folkloric knowledge to have an inkling.
Yeah.
And
think
like enough folkloric knowledge to know that like freezing the river is probably not going to be a thing that creature is going to be on board with.
Yeah. So I think Goto like pulls out. This is a problem. I know enough to know what this is. I don't know enough to know how to deal with it, which I guess is probably on board with Goto. But I think I turn to Yakimura and say, "There's a kappa which is playing tricks on us. If we don't wish to make it angry, well, it seems to be a bit more than a trickster, this one." And yeah, then they pull the gun off their shoulder.
So you're gonna fire a warning shot at the spirit?
Yes.
If it works.
Look, if it works with spirits, it should work with turtle children.
Mm-hmm.
Captains are strange.
We're just gonna have tinnitus by the time we reach the top of the mountain.
Yeah, that's actually where we're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
So Goto doesn't already have terrible tinnitus.
All right, so Anya, I'm gonna spend a trust. I'm gonna clear one of your trust. Yep. All right, so both of you roll. Let's see what happens. All right, so margin of 1 is partial success. So the winner progresses towards their intent but doesn't achieve it. So Kika, what does it look like? What does progress towards your intent but not actually getting it look like? Describe that for us.
Maybe the river like freezes over, but it's not thick enough to support our weight.
Yeah, nice.
But basically you see just like the surface of the river just flash freeze over, but the rushing water underneath is like too fast to actually freeze past the first couple inches.
Yeah. So it's like thin, clear ice, and then we can still see like the dark river underneath.
Yeah.
Flowing. Very cool.
Kika, do you want to narrate anything about how the kappa reacts as well?
I don't know enough about kappa to do that. So if someone else wants to take over with that,
I will happily take over.
I guess Luke.
Yeah, you should probably
unless someone would like to spend trust to like steal narration, right? Like that is a thing you all can do. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna make the kappa do a thing.
Yeah, you might also want to give a description for the people that don't know Japanese folklore.
Yeah, can you provide some context, Luke, so then we can...
Oh yeah.
Then maybe I can finish the narration.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like, here's the thing. The conflict wasn't about the kappa. The conflict was about freezing the river.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like narration of the results of the conflict like has happened, right? Like, I think we've seen it.
Okay, because of like it's an issue of scope. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like I think the kappa is what comes next, right? And so what happens is, yeah, the river flash freezes over, but the water is still flowing underneath. And there's like, this time like a grumbling noise. And someone comes out between the trees on the other side of the river. This like old, bent, wizened, like shriveled, tiny little man. And he's dressed in like peasant's clothing in like faded blue and green, and he's bent like almost double. It looks a little bit like he's got a shell because of the hunch of his back, and he smiles at you all, and his teeth are like the kind of yellowy color of like unhulled rice, and he's like, "That wasn't very nice. Rude, almost."
Some would say laughing at innocent travelers is also rude.
Some would say drowning them is more so.
And he like raises his hands and looks incredibly innocent, and like for all the world he would drowned? Who have I drowned? Wandering Ronin. And who are you? This one asks to speak of honor. So, you wish to cross, I take it.
We will cross, old man.
I like you.
And like Ukio has his spear out.
Yep.
Just like,
Yeah, the cop has just basically like got his hands in his pockets, like on the other side of the river, like looking at you all.
Yes. What would you like in exchange for us crossing?
Ah, you too, I like. You understand how these things work.
Well, we don't have much to give. It's pretty obvious. You know that we are wandering Ronin.
I wouldn't say that. Everyone has things to give.
Yes, everyone does have something to give. Like a shot straight through your belly.
He like bares his teeth and he's like, I'd like to see you try it.
Hold on. Can't you see this is just an innocent old man standing across the other side? I'm certain there's some kind of agreement that we can come to.
I tell you what. It is a boring life here on this mountain. Not much happens. The witch, they stay up there. The peasants, they stay out there. No one ever comes to visit Old Royama.
Probably very difficult with this river here.
One of you tell me a secret. Something juicy. And I swear on my name, I will bear you across this river on my back.
All of us.
All of you.
if more than one person knows it, old man, it's not a secret anymore. Ukio like crosses his arms.
You will not be paying the price then, I take it. Very well.
And he just
and they just start he just starts like ignoring you completely.
Oh my gosh. I will tell you a secret, old man. I will whisper it into your oddly small ears once you bear us across the river.
Do you swear on your name?
Well, my name doesn't mean very much, so that's an easy thing to swear on.
Do you swear on your life?
Yes.
Very well. Now, I'm just thinking here. Kira, do you mean it?
Do I mean it?
Yeah, are you telling the truth?
Am I telling the truth? Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, right, because that's the question that determines whether this is a conflict or not, right? Like,
I was thinking that I would be telling the truth because the spirit would know, like out of character, I was thinking that. But like, my character's a really good bluffer. So...
I was gonna say, yeah, you've got.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, if you were to try and lie, we can have a conflict to see whether the spirit is able to tell or not that you're lying.
Yeah, let's do it because that's fun.
Yeah, cool.
I just start looking like I'm tuning my shamisen.
Yeah, nice. All right, so it sounds like, Kira, your intent is to fool the copper into accepting your your deal.
Yes. I won't tell any secret that I care about. Basically, I will tell like a half truth or something.
Yep. And the copper's intent is to make you tell it something.
Yes.
Oh, I thought the
dark
lie was
and painful. Well, yeah, actually, yes. No, that's
once we got once we got across, you would
tell it anything. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So actually, that's important, Kira. Yeah. What is the scope of this? Is this role about you telling it you'll tell it a secret, or is this role about the secret you tell it on the far side of the river?
They're both equally the same. I assume
kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, No,
I mean,
because
its intent is going to be very different depending on
yeah.
which one it is.
So if you're lying about if you're going to tell anything, then it finds out, then it won't ferry us across. If you're lying about, like, if you are going to tell it something but not tell it the truth, then it will have ferried us across before it finds that out.
Like,
And
it
then
matters
it'll try to kill us or something.
it matters a great deal, right? Like,
But couldn't it
And
tell
then
if I
Goto
was
gets to-
lying? Couldn't it tell
and
if
then
I was
Goto gets
lying
to,
right
like,
now? Either way.
draw out the sword.
I mean, it's like all of the spirits of Japan, it's a petty little god. It's not it's not omniscient, no.
Well, I will make an equally petty bet that the lie will be petty. That I'll tell something not as juicy. And
Okay, yeah. So this is about what happens in the other bank of the river. Yeah.
yeah.
So your intent is to fool it into accepting like a less like a petty secret.
You're paying it with forged currency.
Yes.
Yeah, and its intent is to make you tell it something dark and painful.
Yes, I'm so sorry, turtle spirit. I love turtles.
Yep. I mean, it's more complex than just turtles, right? Like copper are a whole weird fucking thing. All right, so it's gonna roll 1d6.
Yeah.
Kika, it sounded like you were helping.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna clear one of your trust. All right, so Kika and Kira, do you guys want to roll? Do you want to roll first, or do you want me to roll first?
I roll first. 1d6.
Yep, 1d6, and then Kika will roll, and you'll add those together. Oh, sweet Jesus! This is why trust is good.
High five.
All right, so that is a margin of 7. That is a critical success. So you get Kira. Describe. You get your intent plus a big extra thing.
Oh,
that's just like you can just narrate any extra like good thing for you into the scene. What does this look like?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Kappa agrees. Like, what does the Kappa say to agree? Like,
yeah, you're like,
Kappa voice.
All right, do you want me to do the Kappa voice?
Yes, please.
It's a good voice.
Yeah, it like rubs its head. He like rubs his hands together, right? And he's like, okay. All right then, very well. And like steps out across the ice. And even though it is too thin to support the weight of a person, and it's really slippery, he's just moving as though it were just solid ground.
What the hell?
With his like slow old man walk.
I mean, it's not even the slow old man walk. It's just his like impossible Kappa powers because it's his river.
Mm.
And he pulls up to the other side and he's like, "Who's going first?"
Oh,
I take a step forward.
No. He said that he would carry all of us across. And then someone asked at the same time, and he said yes at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, who's hopping on foot, right? Because he's going to have to stack you up.
Oh, stacked up. Okay.
Yeah. He's only so big.
Yeah.
You're ungrateful. You're ungrateful, Ronan.
Yakimura, after you.
I climb on his shoulders.
Yep, totally. Yeah, so yeah, you're like sitting on his shoulders.
Yes.
Yep. And he like turns around and like tottering, but like completely unaffected by the weight, just like turns and cocks his head at the rest of you.
Well, go on.
I think Ukyo is actually like the most slight and small of everyone here, and so he's gonna want to be the last one on because he can climb up all the other people. Like Goto is huge, right?
Yeah, I think Goto. I think Goto like climbs on top of it's Yukimura, not Yakimura. Those are two very different.
Those are very different things.
Yakimura.
Oh, did I say Yakimura?
I think I've been saying Yakimura, which would mean fried.
Yes.
Pan-fried Mura.
My favorite.
But yeah, I think I climb up Yukimura and I'm like, sorry. And this is like the first time Goto's been like not just brash and like kind of a dick. But they're just like, I'm sorry I have to climb on top of you.
And then Ukyo
As necessity
cups his hands together to give Izumi-san a leg up, like a boost to get up onto the others.
Also extend a hand to Izumi to help her up.
Oh, she gracefully accepts both of those gestures and climbs up.
But that doesn't help.
Yes. That's cool.
Yeah, and then the kappa, like turns around, this like shuffling old man like step. Yeah, like with this like teetering pile of Ronin on his back.
Ukyo
and he like scoops
Goto's belt and hangs off of the side.
I know. I think unless you resist, I think the kappa just like scoops you up in his arms like a child.
Carry me like a child. No, I do. That's too undignified. I'm tough and manly.
Yeah, you're like no.
No. Like just like reach up, grab Goto's belt, and like be hanging off the side.
Yes. Because
I'm a little bit extra, I guess.
Yeah, and so and then the kappa like turns and starts like shuffling across the river, like, and as he moves, he's like bending like even further under the weight, and like I think whoever's on the bottom, that was Yukimura, you can feel like him like trembling with the strain, and there's like a noise as the ice like splinters under one foot, and then he stops and like takes like a deep breath and like takes another step and like slowly puts his weight down, like everything's fine. Takes another step, everything's fine. He like, lets out a sigh and like keeps walking, and then the ice just like shatters and gives way underneath him, and he just like drops down so that he is walking on the bottom of the river with his head under the waterline, and Yukimura is just like drenched in this cold river water, and then he just like resumes the march across the bottom of the river, and then like tosses you all off on the other side in a like undignified heap.
Well, I suppose I'll wait by the side of the river until he...
Yeah, and then this like little like wrinkled...
out.
This little like wrinkled kappa head like sticks out of the water, and like his thin wispy like white old man hair is like slicked back, and you can see up close his eyes in this like muddy like gray green color, and his teeth look like nothing so much as like little husks of rice, and he like cocks his head at you and like beckons you and is like, "You owe a debt, Ronin."
It seems really gross suddenly. Like, cool. She bends down because I got such a high success. Instead of telling him any secret at all that is personal to her, she will say, "It seems, old man, as though you are incredibly lonely here, and the secret to loneliness is simply to make more friends. You are welcome to join us if you wish, as we walk alongside the river."
Ooh.
And so then, Kira, is that the extra thing we get? Is that he accompanies us?
Yeah, I thought that'd be cool if we had like a turtle spirit with us for a little while.
Yeah, he like lets out like a sputtering, hissing, like upset noise, and goes underwater. But I think as you like, as we like the camera pulls back and we see you all like marching, further up the river. We can just see this like dark shape moving under the water, like right next to you all. This like long, like 2 meter long, like 4 limbs and like a long tail. If anyone's ever seen like a giant Japanese or Chinese salamander, like it's very much like that, but like even longer and like weirder looking.
Cool.
And a bit of like snake-like.
Yeah, there's like a motion to it. And we follow you along the river until you come out of the tree line at the foot of Mount Fuji itself, where the stream goes, like vanishes into the rock where it is born. And I don't think there is like a ceremonious farewell of any kind. I think there's just like another like upset sputtering kettle noise, and then this dark shape just like turns and like dashes down river again. and you come out of the trees and the wind hits you like a knife. Like cold and hard and strong, and like fingers like tugging at your clothing. And I think there, as you like pause for a moment on the threshold of the next step in your journey, I think that is both where we're going to call the first chapter of our climb of the mountain, and it's also where we're going to like call today's game. So there is one last mechanical thing we need to do, and then we will do shoutouts. So at the end of a chapter, we reassess our trust. And this is how the trust values on the sheet go up and down. So at the end of a chapter, you can increase trust by 1 point in a character, keep your trust in a character the same, or decrease it by any amount. Trust is hard to win, but easy to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So, let us begin with Goto-san. What would you like to do with your trust values?
So I increase and decrease the trust that other people have for me?
No. So this is you changing the value on your sheet that is how much trust you put in the other characters.
Okay, so like this is me
throwing away. This is you saying Andrew's character seems trustworthy, but Kika's is real shady.
Yeah.
You can give more trust to other people.
Or you can take it away.
Wait.
I always get an angle.
So I'm adding and taking away black tokens.
Forget about the tokens. Forget about all of the tokens, because tokens reset at the end of an act. All you need to worry about is the values that are written on your sheet, which is how many values you will be giving out at the beginning of the next chapter.
Yes. But what this means is that if I
you'll
give
be
someone
giving
more
out
trust, they will have another black token.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to figure out if these were the tokens that I use or the tokens that I give people.
No, they're the tokens you give people.
Yeah. So I think I think that I have more trust in Koga-san.
Mm-hmm.
I have more trust. I have the same trust with Yukimura-san, and I have I guess I can't have any less trust.
But you could be starting to have trust with Zoom.
Yeah, I think I do have. I now put a little trust in Izumi-san after that skillful play with the kappa.
It could just mean I'm a good liar though, and you should trust me less.
That might be what I would choose.
The fact that you could lie like that, I trust you because you can use that.
Cool.
All right, Koga, our red Ronin.
I feel like Goto can have one more. Everyone's being so positive and making numbers go up, but I'm going to make Izumi's number go down.
That's fine.
By 1. Goto's go up by 1, because I think, Ukyo being like, this person can lie.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
That's a bad thing, yeah.
He's not super into that. And Yukimura, you can stay the same, because I think there was both the yes, you're helpful, but also you have magic. And that's kind of a wash as far as I'm concerned. So,
legit. All right. Izumi, our green Ronin.
I think I would like everyone to go up 1.
All right, cool. Take it up on your sheet.
Yeah, I've gained more trust in all of you. You seem very competent and willing to fight demons and ghosts.
Oh, Kira. This is going to be a tragedy.
Kira is doing the right thing.
Yeah, I'm proud of Kira. Kira and Andrew are playing two sides of the coin very well. I'm into it. I mean, Anya, you're also doing a wonderful job. I don't want to mean to single people out, but like, this is good. And then finally, Yukimura, our blue Ronin.
I feel like Yukimura is sort of getting the feel that Goto is very straightforward in their thinking and dealings, so that sort of makes her trust them a bit more.
Yep. Predictable elements are good things.
Koga seems a bit weird. She hasn't really gotten a handle on him yet, so probably one less trust.
Yep.
And Azumi, well, on one hand, she did lie to that Kappa fairly convincingly, but on the other hand, she seems sort of like cheerful and naive. But on the third hand, that could just be her lying. So I think Yakimura doesn't trust her quite as much.
Yep. Legit. All right. Yep. Shift those values. And then, at the beginning of the next session, I will redistribute trust according to those new values for all of you.
I like how trust is just very arbitrarily whatever we want it to be.
Yep. All right. And that is the end of the first chapter of our story of the Mountain Witch and these foolish Ronin. So far, nothing bad has happened. These Ronin seem very willing to trust each other. We shall see if that continues to be the case. Thank you for watching, chat. Everyone, thank you so much for playing this like weird niche early 2000s indie role-playing game with me. I'm having a great time. This game is very much my jam. For people out there in chat, my name is Luke. I have been your GM and facilitator. You can find me on Twitter at Wildwoods Games. If you would like to buy games I have written, including a convention module inspired by this one, you can go to gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io. If you would like to check out the podcast that Andrew and I are on, which is a Monster Hearts podcast with a good witch boy, Kira, for you, you can find us on Twitter at feelingsfirst_. That's me. Kira, can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Yeah. Plug your good shit.
I'm Kira. I'm currently running a playtest of a cyberpunk game that's about feelings and activism on actual play on Twitch. That's fun. In maybe 2 Sundays. And you can find some of my games. I have like a Patreon right now where I'm writing like weird experimental indie story games, kind of like this one. So if you want to check those out, Patreon is it's Kira McGran. That's my name. It's MAGRANN. I don't think that's available anywhere. And so that's me, Andrew.
I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at Commuting Crow. I do a bunch of role-playing streams. And I'm designing a game called Girl by Moonlight that's about tragic magical girls. Playtesting it on both actual play, twitch.tv/actual play, as well as twitch.tv/actualfactual, which is my own channel. And I'm all the internets. Anya.
I'm Anya, or Keeters. I don't do much on the internet at this moment. I am at Keeters159 on Twitter, and there may be a Patreon soon for some things. So yeah, if you like things, specifically art things, then yeah, that might happen soon. Maybe. Possibly. Kika.
Hey, I'm Kika. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kika. That's twitch.tv/KIKK, and on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO. I am currently working on making up the Sylvan language, and so you can follow me on Twitter for updates on that. I haven't been super active on Twitch lately because I've been super busy with school, but I'm hoping to fix that. But of course, I've been hoping to fix that for like 6 months, so follow me if you want. Don't if you don't.
That's school life. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you, chat. Everyone, if a strange old man offers to take you across a river, you should stick to the word of your bargain unless you're a very talented liar like Kira. And on that good piece of life advice, we will say goodbye for now. We will be back here, I believe, next week, but check Eric's Twitter and Twitch events page for the details. Goodbye.